want to show you today how we manage this Lucuma in the system. So this Lucuma is a plant from South America. It's an evergreen of the medium to high strata. Yeah, big seeds. It can germinate under forest and slowly grow. It is a very slow growing species in any case, and it makes these fruit here. Yeah, they will grow a bit bigger still. They're only half ripe, so they will go about this size. And they have a very nice pulp that tastes of maple syrup, low acid, high starch, sugar content. It's a fantastic food. So this is our oldest Lucuma tree. The only sad thing about this one is it got armillaria a few years ago, and it made me really sad because it's our favorite tree of the whole lot. And you can see the symptoms of armillaria down here. Armillaria comes in from the roots and goes around the neck of the stem and makes the bark sort of peel off. However, it has stabilized, and see, it comes sort of off, and underneath there's a bit of mycelium, but it seems to be getting better. So it's possible that the tree is going to pull through. These things happen. Sometimes trees can recuperate from it. We have given it the best with seaweed and everything, so hopefully it's going to pull through. At the moment it doesn't look like at all it's suffering from it, but yeah, armillaria can be a very slow creeping disease. And the canopy above it is Inga beans. Inga beans have shown to be quite resistant to armillaria for us, and we use the Inga beans as a shade in summer, and in winter we prune it, and now we give it a second prune in order to allow more sunlight onto the Lucuma, because we do advocate for strong density. However, there is a thin line. When your tree of a lower strata gets too much shade, it can still suffer, and we can see that it starts picking up symptoms such as tea tree borer, for instance, and prairie moss. You find when a tree gets stressed because it doesn't have enough sap to flush these attacking borers out. And you see that the trees might go a bit too lanky, or in this case here we have armillaria. I don't think it was caused by the shade at all. However, if we don't allow enough sunlight to the tree, it is too weak to defend itself. So we have to find the optimum. So even if we have a medium or high strata tree, we have to give it a certain amount of sunlight, otherwise it will suffer. So we have to find that balance. That means we have to always observe our plants to see if they show any signs of suffering. We want to push it towards the density because for the overall system it's the best, for the soil building and everything. But if we push it too hard, then our plants get stressed. But with some experience you will be able to pick that up just by looking at the plants when they need more light. And the other thing is, of course, our shade is not static, it's a dynamic shade, and that is quite different from a plant being constantly in a shade. So ideally we would even bring that extra light in when the plant underneath needs it the most, like when it's flowering, for instance. Plants need more incoming sunlight. But what we're going to do now is we're going to do a prune to make sure that the strata are well defined. At the moment there is a lot of interference of branches from the Inga bean into the crown of the Lucuma, and we need to take those out to make it a clear distinction between the emergence of the Inga bean and the medium high of the Lucuma tree, and we're going to show that now. So as you can see now, the Lucuma has about a meter and a half distance to the emergent canopy of the Inga bean. We don't want to take any more off than that from the Inga bean because we are mid of summer, but we want to do another prune then in winter, where we open up the Inga bean even stronger. So the Inga bean is able to provide us 2 prunings a year, right? And we're not pruning the Lucuma right now because otherwise we would cut fruit out. No point of doing that. In fact, they actually need very little pruning. They're so slow growing. But it's a very valuable tree, and the Inga bean fuels its health and its growth. Yeah, so the Lucuma needs a bit of a semi-shade, which the Inga bean provides. But we don't want to overshade it because otherwise plants can lose their vigor and they grow too slow if they get too much shade. So we have to always find that balance. Right? But now that it's all on the ground, we want to slice it up with the machete nicely so it sits flat on the ground and doesn't dry out with the summer. Here, so it's all on the floor now, feeding the tree. Keeps it moist in summer. There's more light coming in. Now the Inga bean is pulsing off again. Yeah, that's how we do it.